Christopher Robin and I walked along under branches lit up by the moon, posing our questions to Alan Dior as our days disappeared all too soon.
So just gonna share some stories of my mom from my childhood. So one of the things that I remember about my mom from when I was younger is we grew up in Wamsutter, Wyoming, but her parents lived in St. George, so a lot of times we would travel to St. George, Utah, and traveling to St. George, Utah, we would travel through Provo Canyon, a very beautiful drive, and the highway of Provo Canyon follows the river, and often we would be traveling through there on a Sunday, and anytime we started down the canyon on a Sunday, Mom would roll down the window and stick her head out the window and come here. And she would yell at the people fishing as loud as she could, "You're not supposed to fish on Sunday!" And I don't think that it took very long that then as many windows that could come down would come down, and she would have a choir of 4 or 5 boys yelling with her out the window as we drove by. So I remember that about my mom. And other memories I have of her of my young years are going into City Market, the grocery store in Rawlins, and getting a corn dog from the bakery whenever we go grocery shopping. So when I was a kid, we did a lot of hunting. My memory was that we were gonna go meet my dad somewhere, and then my mom would start hunting. And so me and my brother Justin were with Mom in a Buick Century, which is a 4-door car, and we drove an hour from Wamsutter out to the sand dunes where we would hunt. And for some reason, other than probably just Mom being Mom, she took the Buick Century, and we're driving on dirt roads in the sagebrush. I don't know if we were trying to find my dad or if she just totally ditched that plan and wanted to go try and get her deer before the sun went down. But she did. She successfully found a deer, and she shot the deer, and realized that she didn't have anything sharp on her to slit the deer's throat. So I remember her getting a bullet out and trying to use the point of the bullet to gouge into the deer's neck and slice the deer's neck. I remember eventually we met up with Dad, but I'll always remember the time that we hunted in the Buick Century, and that Mom got her deer and tried to slit its mouth or its throat with a bullet. Well, just a funny story of my high school years. Must have been my senior year, junior or senior year. I must have talked out loud about asking a certain girl to prom, and so I was getting ready for track practice. I had changed and I was out in the gym stretching, and a couple girls came out of the locker room and came up to me, and they were saying things like, "Oh, that was so sweet," or "Oh, you're so cute." 2 or 3 girls came out and made comments like that, and then finally this other girl comes out and just walks up to me and gives me a hug and says, "Yes, I'll go to the dance with you." And I was just flabbergasted and confused at what she was talking about, because I hadn't asked her to the dance yet. But apparently my mom took it upon herself to bring some balloons over and stashed them in the locker room with a message and asked the girl to prom for me. She just didn't bother telling me that she was going to do that. So I was caught off guard. So I remember that. It's kind of awkward, but hey, went to the dance out of it anyway. The other fun memory that I have about my mom from my high school years is at the end of my junior year, one of my best friends tried to convince me that I should run for the student body president, and I was against that, but he kept encouraging me and finally cut a deal that he would run for vice president if I would run for president. And his whole point was to oust the current president. That was his goal. So he convinced me that I would do it. So as we were planning for the week of elections, Mom thought it would be a good idea to buy pizza for all the students the day of elections. And so she bought a whole bunch of pizzas that you just cook in your oven at home. And she cooked pizza and brought it over. Well, she cooked the pizza, and then me and Ryan brought it over to the school during lunchtime and gave out pizza for everybody right before we had our student body elections. And Ryan supplied the pop, and I supplied the pizza, and I won president, and he won vice president. So Mom knew that they wouldn't vote for me unless I gave them food, I guess. But it worked. And then they made a policy that you couldn't do that after that. So, yeah.
Back to the days of food. Oh, oh, oh.